Stop right here. This moment, yes, this one, is not random. It's meant for you. You didn't stumble across this message by chance. Something greater pulled you here because deep down, you know you were made for more. You can feel it, that quiet fire inside that refuses to go out, that pull in your chest when you hear the word destiny, that voice that whispers, "You're different, you're not lost, you're not broken, you're becoming." And everything you've been through, the setbacks, the silence, the waiting, it's all been preparing you for this exact moment. This is the turning point, the shift, the elevation. You are not like everyone else. You've been chosen for something rare, something powerful. And now the universe is clearing the way for it to reach you. So take a breath. Feel that energy rising. That's the real you, waking up. If your heart is racing right now, if your soul is saying yes, even before your mind can catch up, then stay with me. This isn't just a message, it's a call. And chosen ones, they answer. Let's begin. An unseen thread of meaning pulls this moment into clarity, not by chance, but by design. What unfolds before the eyes is not another fleeting message, but a summons from a higher rhythm, vibrating beyond routine perception. The silence between thoughts suddenly carries a weight, as if the ordinary air has thickened with purpose. Not all will notice, most won't feel it. But for the rare few aligned with this unseen current, this is a silent awakening cloaked in words. In a world blurred by repetition and noise, certain moments tear the veil, quietly but irreversibly. This isn't a passing idea or poetic sentiment. It's an ignition. An unseen threshold has been reached, where what was once dismissed as improbable now demands recognition. It's not given to many, this glimpse into the extraordinary. But to those attuned, this is more than hope. It's an echo of what they've long sensed, without language. The ancient whispers of elevation have always chosen unconventional vessels. The call never announces itself with fireworks. It hums beneath everyday breath. Just as some were drawn by stars or stumbled upon turning paths, the lineage of the awakened continues, not marked by robes or titles, but by the stirring that can't be ignored. That stirring lives now. A new passage opens not through ritual, but through recognition. The unfamiliar will feel like truth, and the known may feel like illusion. But hesitation is no ally here. Every great shift begins with a yes whispered in faith before the proof arrives. Doubt crumbles bridges before the journey even starts. So when the unseen aligns in your favor, the only way forward is trust, wild, unshaken trust. Feel God's love stirring within you. Don't let it stop there. Hit the super thank you button and sow a seed of $20 or more. That simple act can ignite hope, heal hearts, and carry His love further than you imagine. You were made to shine His light. This is your moment. Be the miracle someone's been praying for. Let heaven move through you. Let there be no room for half measures. What waits ahead is not for the cautious or the passive. It is for those who leap before the wind confirms their wings. Those who anchor into belief with no map, no applause, only a deep, resonant yes that reshapes the very soil beneath their steps. This is the invitation not to understand, but to become. A rare ignition has begun deep within, an awakening so profound it reshapes the very definition of what it means to exist in time. What unfolds now is not a return to something lost, but the emergence of something never before seen. Each breath feels lighter, more charged, as if the body has stepped out of the clock's grip and into a realm where decay is no longer the rule. The surface of the skin tightens not from effort, but from harmony. Muscles recall a forgotten vitality, and energy pulses like electricity through every fiber, defying what was once accepted as aging. What fades away are not just signs of wear, but burdens of belief. In their place comes a vibrant certainty, an essence that doesn't just animate, but redefines. This isn't surface-level change, nor cosmetic illusion. It is a profound shift that touches the core, a liberation of what always existed beneath layers of exhaustion and time. The renewal is both internal and expressive, a steady brilliance that no product, no remedy, no external means could ever create. It arises from a higher source, unbought and unmatched. Others may continue their chase, endless cycles of masks and promises, but the true mystery has taken root within. There is a symmetry between spirit and flesh now, one that magnifies presence and draws wonder without effort. The transformation isn't meant to impress, it simply is. A natural authority radiates outward, commanding attention without a word spoken. In that stillness, power lives. Make your impact eternal. Join now and be a light in someone's darkness. What now pulses beneath the skin is no longer merely biology. It is a rare resonance, a quiet signal that transcends logic or science. As certain individuals shift weather with their voice, this emerging force reshapes the very way space responds to movement. Reality bends in small but meaningful ways, less fatigue, more clarity, quicker healing. Not because of magic, but because something higher has been activated. Where there was once limitation, now there is momentum. Challenges that once seemed too steep are now stepping stones. The world becomes lighter, not because it changed, but because perception now dances on a higher plane. The frequency that now surrounds and fills the body is a testament not to chance, but to design. There is no turning back. What has awakened will only grow stronger, and the path forward will illuminate not just one life, but many drawn to this unmistakable light. There is a shift happening beneath the surface, subtle yet irreversible. Where weariness once lived and discomfort felt permanent, a new rhythm begins to hum. It isn't loud or dramatic, but steady, quiet, absolute. The heaviness that clung to the bones and the silent drag of time that chipped away at vitality have lost their grip. What now awakens is a renewal that doesn't ask for permission. It simply flows, reassembling what was broken, calming what once screamed, and reviving what had gone silent within. Each morning no longer begins with resistance. Instead, there's a charge in the bloodstream, a brightness behind the eyes. Movements feel fluid, natural, unburdened by the invisible chains that once defined limitation. This isn't simply the absence of pain, it's the arrival of power. Muscles, breath, and mind synchronize like a well-tuned instrument, ready for a new song. Not a temporary surge, but a state of being, a recalibration into something whole. Systems once thought to be weakening now rise with unexpected precision. Wounds unseen, emotional, cellular, energetic, begin to close. The transformation isn't just noticed, it's felt in every fiber. There are no chemicals, no surgeries, no charts to explain this shift. It comes from beyond frameworks, rewriting biology with divine clarity. Not as a dream, but as a lived truth, now settling into the flesh. Those who observe the evolution may search for explanations, diets, routines, hidden tricks, but there's no manual to share. What unfolds is not teachable, it's sacred, a rare current running through select lives. As eyes begin to open in awe and old labels fall away, the world becomes a witness to a hidden force made visible. At the same time, a new current begins to move through the external world. Possibilities that once seemed distant begin to converge. The landscape of effort shifts, actions yield more, timing aligns, and unexpected doors begin to open without force. This isn't fortune, it's precision, born of alignment. Every attempt gains momentum. Even the smallest gestures now echo with resonance, delivering outcomes beyond proportion. The environment responds as if tuned to a higher frequency. New opportunities arrive without warning, and long-standing blocks disintegrate without confrontation. What was once strained becomes effortless. Security is no longer a pursuit, but a foundation. This abundance isn't a reward, it's a signpost, a confirmation that something rare and irreversible has taken root. The struggle has served its purpose. Now comes the overflow. The path unfolding now carries not only personal triumph, but an invitation to uplift the world around it. This isn't simply about accumulation, it's about expansion. What once seemed unreachable is now becoming a resource through which lives will be touched, hearts will be lifted, and futures quietly rewritten. The resources flowing in are not meant to rest in silence, but to move, create, and empower. Not out of duty, but out of a deep, awakened knowing that what has been entrusted must also be shared. No longer defined by effort that yields little, every movement now carries weight. Time spent, energy offered, care invested, all of it multiplies. The old paradigm of sacrifice with no return dissolves. In its place rises a new law of reflection, where generosity meets reward and momentum builds without obstruction. This is not transactional, it is sacred. A flow designed to affirm your endurance and echo your intention. As the external world begins to mirror this change, the results become undeniable. Recognition arrives not only in material form, but in harmony, clarity, and connection. What once took years now takes days. Small choices ignite waves of influence. Conversations lead to alliances. The quiet efforts of yesterday now return with astonishing force. This is a rhythm that cannot be explained away by chance. It is precision, woven through divine architecture. If your heart overflows with divine love, now is the moment to let it shine. Click the super thank you button on YouTube and give $50 or more to help carry God's light to others. Your gift will bless not only your life, but countless others. You are part of His sacred plan. Your kindness may be the answer to someone's prayer. Share your blessings and honor His kingdom. May His grace guide you always. While some transformations arrive as instant ruptures, loud, swift, life-altering, others come like a steady tide, building slowly but unstoppably. Whether this blessing appears as a surprise offering or a long-sown harvest, the result is the same. Solid ground beneath your feet and an open sky above. What once felt like barriers now appear as turning points cleverly disguised. Where anxiety once lived, there is calm. The noise of worry is replaced with a deep silence of certainty. The weight of surviving lifts, and in its absence, clarity blooms. What once required effort to maintain now sustains itself. The shift isn't just external, it's in the very architecture of the way life responds to you. Stability is no longer a dream. It becomes the framework from which everything else rises. This opening doesn't end with comfort. It births responsibility, a rare kind, the kind that inspires rather than exhausts. Now freed from the cycles of survival, energy can be given to vision. And with vision comes influence, guidance, and legacy. When resources serve both self and world, a new kind of leadership emerges, one that doesn't speak loudly, but acts decisively. This miracle isn't just a reward, it is a mantle. The freedom gifted is not passive. It asks to be used, not from obligation, but from awakened potential. When struggle no longer consumes your hours, purpose claims them. And in that space, the power to shape, to build, and to uplift is no longer a dream. It is the new foundation of your life. Make your impact eternal. Join now and be a light in someone's darkness. There comes a moment when the unseen parts of one's truth can no longer remain in shadow. That time is arriving, not through confrontation or demand, but through a quiet unveiling that reorders everything. Where once there was dismissal or silence from those closest, now comes a clarity that cannot be denied. Long-held misunderstandings will dissolve in the light of realization, and those who once looked without seeing will suddenly behold the magnitude of what has always been there. This change is not forced. It unfolds like dawn. The softest shift in tone, the surprise in someone's eyes, the unspoken apology carried in their changed behavior. Every layer of disregard, every overlooked word, every misjudged moment will give way to something redemptive. There will be no need for vindication. Presence alone will speak louder than any argument ever could. And in that silent recognition, something long broken will begin to mend. What begins internally soon reaches outward. Relationships once strained by unspoken distance begin to mend not through explanations, but through presence, warmth, and mutual rediscovery. No grand speeches are required, just the gentle return of trust, the softening of walls, and the remembering of connection. The weight of being unseen lifts, and in its place grows a new depth of unity, one rooted in truth, finally acknowledged. As the new alignment deepens, circles once fragmented will reform. The roles people played in your life will evolve. As admiration replaces uncertainty, and loyalty grows not out of obligation, but out of awakened affection. Their respect won't be given lightly. It will come because they've glimpsed something rare, something unshakable. And from that glimpse, their actions will begin to shift. What starts as personal healing becomes contagious. The atmosphere around begins to absorb this peace. Witnessing your transformation moves others into reflection. Old wounds they carry may begin to heal simply by being in proximity to your wholeness. The energy of renewal echoes out. Small reconciliations, surprising calls, unspoken forgivenesses exchanged in a glance. This is not a healing that follows logic. It follows grace. The cracks left by years of disconnection begin to disappear. And where they once existed, strong frameworks of trust and shared presence emerge. This is the kind of mending that doesn't need celebration or display. It simply becomes the new normal. What was lost is not only returned, but transformed, stronger than before. Within, there is a stillness now. No longer pulled by longing or fractured by absence, the spirit settles. The ache that once echoed in the background has faded, replaced by the steady drumbeat of readiness. Life no longer feels like it's waiting to begin. It is fully here, unfolding in real time, led by love, anchored in peace, and charged with undeniable purpose. And what follows now will not just amaze, it will elevate everything it touches. Everything you've endured has been preparing you for an emergence unlike any other. A shift is underway, not loud, not flashy, but deep and irreversible. The threshold stands open, waiting for the one whose readiness is not proven by noise, but by inner alignment. This is not an ordinary moment. It marks the turning of a hidden mechanism that only a rare soul can set in motion. The foundation must now be trust, and the atmosphere, belief. The architecture of your life is about to be rewritten, not by random chance or circumstance, but by the deliberate unfolding of purpose long concealed. The world may still carry on unaware, but in the quiet chambers of your being, a pulse has quickened. The invitation isn't for everyone. It was never meant to be. It finds its way only to those calibrated to perceive more than meets the eye, those whose sight comes not from vision, but from understanding. An ancient pattern has aligned in silence to place this moment directly before you, not as coincidence, but as confirmation. A rare convergence of forces now asks for your recognition and your response. Hidden thresholds, invisible to the unready, await your signal. The act of believing is what completes the circuit. It is not the outside world that must shift. It is the inside that must decide. The magnitude of what awaits is unlocked not by striving, but by acceptance. This isn't just about progress. It's about entrance. A passageway opens, and only those who move with full faith cross through. Doubt distorts the path, and fear dims the signal. But when conviction is present, even the unseen becomes a map. Every past uncertainty now collapses under the weight of what is beginning. There is no space for hesitation anymore. The new has been calling. Now it begins responding. Unnoticed by many, something monumental has already begun within. Not dramatic, but unstoppable. Like hidden pressure building beneath the earth. The transformation has been gathering force in silence. What felt like delay was preparation. What seemed like stillness was sacred formation. The time of invisibility is ending. What was once only sensed is about to be revealed in undeniable clarity. Those long moments of being misunderstood were not wasted. They were protective. The quiet strength cultivated in isolation has not weakened you. It has solidified your essence. You were not overlooked. You were preserved. And now, what has grown in secret will rise unmistakably with impact no one can ignore. The subtle will soon become undeniable. This isn't about evolving into something new. It's about finally being seen for what has always existed beneath the surface. Layers of doubt fall away, and what stands revealed is not potential, but power, ready, focused, whole. The world may blink in surprise, but the soul already knows. The appointed time has come. Everything in your life has been converging toward this moment. The threads of growth, pain, learning, silence, and grace have all been weaving toward revelation. What now arrives is not random. It is fulfillment, not just of dreams, but of purpose. And once this energy is released, no force can contain it. The world will change in your presence, not because it's commanded, but because it must respond to what you've become. There's an awakening in motion that transcends explanation, a shift taking place not only in the physical, but in the very core of your existence. The transformation is so intricate and complete that conventional knowledge cannot chart it. This isn't surface-level change. It's a restoration happening at the root, rewriting the way your being responds to the world. Each day, new strength rises from within, surprising even the one who carries it. The heaviness, the limitations, the long-carried fatigue, all begin to vanish without resistance. Lines fade not from creams, but because time itself no longer claims you the way it once did. Energy pours in from a source unseen, not just revitalizing tissue, but invigorating essence. As days unfold, a new version begins to emerge, one that is clear-eyed, resilient, and overflowing with radiant vitality. the kind that cannot be purchased or mimicked. Friends will notice, strangers will feel it, and yet the only answer that makes sense is that something far greater has taken hold. If your heart overflows with divine love, now is the moment to let it shine. Click the super thank you button on YouTube and give $50 or more to help carry God's light to others. Your gift will bless not only your life, but countless others. You are part of His sacred plan. Your kindness may be the answer to someone's prayer. Share your blessings and honor His kingdom. May His grace guide you always. Mental fog lifts, emotional chaos settles. A kind of sacred alignment takes shape between body and spirit, one where reactions slow, clarity sharpens, and grace fills every response. It's as if an inner light has switched on and now pours out into every space you enter. This isn't merely improvement, it's elevation, a renewal that transcends age and biology, marking your presence with unmistakable brilliance. And as this shift deepens, time begins to rearrange around it. The rush, the endless chase, the feeling of always being behind, gone. In its place, a spaciousness emerges. Moments stretch, decisions become easier, and what once required force now flows with quiet precision. It's as if the hands of the clock have learned to dance with your rhythm instead of pulling you off beat. Time becomes generous, offering not pressure, but opportunity. Tasks that once drained now resolve themselves with elegant ease. Breakthroughs arrive without delay. Flow replaces force. The very fabric of your days is being rewoven with threads of alignment and momentum. You begin to experience time as not just something you move through, but something that now cooperates with you, stretching and folding at your command. This transformation, however, does not begin in the body or the calendar. It begins in the center. Hidden within lies a luminous charge, long dormant, but finally ready to surge. This is not ordinary motivation. It's sacred ignition. The pulse of divine intent embedded in your being, now stirring, rising, activating. And once it begins, there is no stopping its reach. This inner fire doesn't roar, it refines. It clears out fear, dissolves hesitation, and sharpens every instinct. A deeper sense of purpose rises, along with the courage to claim what had once felt out of reach. People around will begin to sense something they can't name. A magnetism, a warmth, a clarity that changes the room. And it's not just for admiration, it's for impact. Make your impact eternal. Join now and be a light in someone's darkness. The energy now moving through you is not yours alone. It has a mission beyond your own healing. It's meant to extend, to light paths, to offer strength, to stir awakenings in others just by your presence. This is not ambition. This is alignment. The time has come to allow it, trust it, and let it reshape everything. Because it will, and already is. What once felt like a constant weight dragging behind you is now being shed like an old skin. The echo of past struggles, the exhausting cycles of physical limitations and quiet suffering are retreating into irrelevance. That history, once sharp and defining, begins to blur. What rises in its place is not just recovery, it is total rebirth. Every system, every breath, every movement begins to mirror harmony. This is not temporary relief, but a complete recalibration of life as it should be. No longer defined by labels or conditions once whispered in sterile rooms, your identity now emerges unburdened. Where fragility once reigned, now flows resilience. Deep, luminous, and undeniable. Energy returns with a velocity that makes the past feel like another lifetime. The reflection you greet now carries strength in its posture, and peace in its gaze. You are no longer shaped by struggle, but by the radiance that has risen from it. This rebirth doesn't come without meaning. Every obstacle you've endured was a prelude to this liberation. Not punishment, not fate, just preparation. What felt like delay was a hidden alignment, setting the stage for a release so complete it leaves no trace of the past. Life ahead is marked not by recovery, but by reinvention. This is the new beginning, and it is here now. Simultaneously, a shift in your material world is gaining velocity. Resources are no longer trickling. They're surging forward with breathtaking force. Financial expansion is erupting into every corner of your life, wiping away barriers and clearing the field for possibility. This influx is not random. It has been initiated by forces responding to your readiness, your openness, and your alignment with purpose.